Thank you for downloading this podcast from the British Theatre Guide. For more information about British Theatre Guide, please visit britishtheatreguide.info. Theatre by the Lake in Keswick in the Lake District has had at its helm Executive Director Patric Gilchrist and Artistic Director Forrest since before the new theatre building on the banks of Derwentwater opened in 1999, replacing the old Blue Box, the once mobile Century Theatre, which had been on the site since it retired from touring in 1975. The current Christmas production of The Emperor and the Nightingale is the last from Gilchrist and Forrest, as they pass full control over to Conrad Lynch, who has taken over as both Artistic Director and Chief Executive. Conrad has been working alongside his predecessors since September, but I asked him what it was like to finally be handed the reins.
It's been a great couple of months putting together my first season with the team here, and we've had a wonderful time kind of looking through various titles and kind of mapping out what the year will look like, and I hope that we'll give our audiences that rich mix of entertaining and surprising and engaging work, whether that be in the spring season, our summer rep season, or our kind of seasonal offer around Christmas. And it's lovely that Ian, Patric and Martin have finished their permanent time with us here at Theatre by the Lake with a wonderful production of The Emperor and the Nightingale that's kind of delighting audiences. As we speak from our auditorium, I can actually hear the show relay a little bit in the distance, and it's a glorious piece, so it's been fantastic that we've gone out on such a high with them. Yeah, we're looking forward to next year and kind of welcoming audiences, old and new, into the building over the course of the next 12 months. Yeah,
so what have we got to look forward to then?
Well, in the spring we have got a new play by Nicholas Pierpan called William Wordsworth. That's in the main house in the spring from the end of March till the middle of April. And that's a play about Wordsworth, set amongst the chimneys and the children running riot, as Wordsworth writes, and it looks at how some of that most beautiful poetry kind of came to fruition, and the challenges and joys and pitfalls of a kind of family life here in Cumbria, whilst Wordsworth trying to make a living. And one of the great things is that it's a co-production with English Touring Theatre, who started life here out of the Blue Box, so it's nice to welcome them home, and particularly work with their new director, Richard Twinan, as he starts to plot what they'll be doing for the future. Yeah. And in the studio, we've got a beautiful Arthur Miller double bill, To a Mirror, directed by John Dove, 2 one-act plays, Some Kind of Love Story and Elegy for a Lady, looking at love, power and illusion. And often it's attributed to Miller's relationship with Marilyn Monroe. And those productions go out on tour. They go on our rural touring circuit, so they play across Cumbria and over across in Northumberland too. Then we've got our summer season, our fantastic ensemble, which starts with Terence Rattigan's After the Dance, directed by Philip Wilson. And that's a fantastic and dazzling look at those 1920s bright young things who, as we kind of on the cusp of the Second World War, are not very young anymore, and it's arguably that they probably weren't very bright. But it's looking at their lives and kind of the world on the cusp of change. And it's beautifully written. It will have sumptuous costumes and that 30s kind of style and wit, and a lot of serious drinking. And that's followed by Maura Buffini's West End comedy hit that was nominated for an Olivier in 2015, Handbagged, which is about the Queen and Thatcher, and kind of looks at what might have happened behind closed doors and speculates on what those two iconic women would have actually talked about. And it's incredibly insightful and really, really funny. So that plays with us throughout the summer and is directed by our new associate director, Liz Stevenson. That's her working here on the main stage for the first time, which is fantastic. And the final show in the main house season of the summer is As You Like It. So, Shakespeare's most beguiling pastoral comedy of mistaken identity and love, featuring, some of those incredibly witty and wisecracking lines and some of the most famous lines quoted by Shakespeare. And it's a collaboration with Shared Experience, the national touring company, so it will go out on tour. And they've got a great sense of theatricality and storytelling and celebrating the female story. So that's great that they're going to be creating that work with us. And that will play here from July through to November and is directed by the hugely talented Kate Saxon. So that's going to be a real treat. And of course, we've got our studio. In the studio, we're delighted to have 3 world premieres over the summer season. First off, which is with us for a month from the end of May, is How My Light is Spent by Alan Harris. That's a collaboration with the Royal Exchange and Sherman Theatre, and again directed by our new associate Liz. And it's about Jimmy, who lives with his mum in Newport in South Wales, and he works for a drive-through donut restaurant. And he phones Kitty, who's a phone sex worker, and gradually falls in love with her. And it's beautiful, it's funny, and it's a play about loneliness. It's about hope and longing and what it's like to be left behind. And it won the Judges' Prize at the Bruntwood Playwriting Prize last year. So it's it's really one to watch out for.
Yeah, I was at the presentation.
Oh, were you? Oh, did you hear Alan?
I do for that.
Yeah, because
I heard him describe it. It did sound really interesting. Yes,
it's really, it was one that everybody kind of, you could hear a few belly laughs. Yeah. And it's great that it's getting its opportunity, and it's not just going to be kind of in Manchester. It's also going to go down to Wales and up here, which is brilliant. And we're also thrilled to kind of welcome for the first time Howard Brenton up to Keswick with his new adaptation of Strindberg's classic Miss Julie. He's written a fresh, accessible version of this that will be directed by Tom Littler, who is an upcoming director, and this will go to Jermyn Street in London after it's run here for a short run before Christmas. So it's great that our work is being seen further afield, whether that be on tour with As You Like It or in Wales and Manchester, and also in London. It's great that our work is being seen elsewhere. And the final show in our summer season is Remarkable Invisible, a brand new piece by American writer Laura Eason, whose most famous play, Sex with Strangers, will receive its UK premiere at Hampstead in February. And this is a story about a family coming together as their parents are downsizing, and it's looking at those very familiar themes for all of us who are part of a family of joy, love and disappointment. And it's great to have Laura come to write this for us. She's one of the writers of the Emmy Award-winning Netflix series House of Cards, and it's a really beautifully written family drama that we really hope will have another life after its premiere here. So that kind of wraps up what we've got for the summer, and we've also programmed Christmas in the main house. We're overjoyed to be working with Jessica Swale, who won the Olivier for Best Comedy for Nell Gwyn, with her adaptation of Secret Garden that will be directed by our associate Liz Stevenson. It's one of my favourite books as a kid, and I can't wait to put that in front of our audiences over Christmas, because I think it will be a real treat. So that's our year. We're going to keep very busy.
It sounds like an interesting season. I mean, I've been coming to Theatre by the Lake for quite a few years, and I can see you've kept the same basic structure of what's been happening there since it opened in 1999, the same seasons. But I can detect the changes in there. There seem to be a lot more co-productions and a lot more new work. There have been new plays there before, but there seems to be a lot more of that. Is this your influence coming in, do you think?
I hope so. And it's we're responding to comments from our audience, that new work is something that particularly our studio audience really relish, and by giving them the opportunity to see it first, it's kind of we're asking them to kind of really be part of that, and that's kind of really exciting for us. And also with the main season, we are giving people the opportunity to see those great plays. Some of them, they will have seen Shakespeare here before, but they won't have seen it, in the style of Shared Experience. So it's kind of, there's something familiar, but there'll be something kind of refreshing and entertaining that people will hopefully get from the season. And yes, it's working with other partners is going to be a key theme of what we do, to bring, the best of work to our audiences here in Cumbria, and also for us to take our work elsewhere, for us to start to be recognised more further afield than we currently are, because it's a fantastic resource, a fantastic venue that does great work, but because of where we are, we're a little bit hidden away, so we need to punch above our weight and shout about what we do a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been a complaint of some people I've spoken to at the theatre over the years that it doesn't get enough national press attention, which seems to have changed over the past 12 months. I know Lynn Gardner's finally discovered it.
She has, yes.
Yeah, do you think that this will help? Because you've got some quite big names of companies and of writers in the programme. Do you think this is going to bring more attention up to Keswick?
I hope so. We're very mindful. It is, for logistic, financial, space point of view for publications. It's harder and harder for journalists to kind of be able to cover the arts, but we want to make sure that we make it as attractive as possible, and we hope we will get more interest and more people to come to see it, whether it's national journalists or tourists from overseas or people on our doorstep. We just want to do more work for more people in more places. Yeah,
it'd help if you had a train that ran to, somewhere near Keswick at least.
If we can get central government and Richard Branson to sort that out, that'd be lovely. Thank you. I think that might be the long game.
What's it like taking over from an artistic director or artistic directors who've set up the place that you're moving into and they've been there for such a long time? Is that a challenge to move it into the direction you want to?
It is. It's exciting, it's thrilling, and it's scary, nerve-wracking, because you want to make sure that you continue to respect the work that they've done and build on the fantastic legacy that they leave, but bring a freshness and your own approach to it, whilst being financially sustainable. So it's kind of it's very it's exciting, but it is quite nerve-wracking. But hopefully we'll deliver for our audiences and participants next year, and that's who we do it for. We should never do it for ourselves. It's always for the people that come and attend and partake in our work, and that's the reason that we're here.
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual that to have an artistic director of a regional theatre that's not a director. Your background is more in production. I mean, are there implications? I can see that would maybe a reason why there are more co-productions, because there are financial implications with not directing, I suppose, if you were producing all your own work. Is that?
Yes, I mean, it allows us the opportunity to work with a wider range of people because I'm not directing, so I'm not saying, well, I'm going to create 4 shows out of the 9.
Yeah.
But, it means that we will be working with more people, and that is great because it means that we've got more influences, more views, and more experience coming through the building that will kind of help us develop our work, because the more people you work with, the more you learn.
Yeah.
And it's also giving young directors the opportunity to work on the middle scale for the first time, and also mid-career, particularly mid-career women, the opportunity to re-engage with the sector, having sometimes gone off, whether it's to have children or to other things, and also support our older directors that sometimes don't get the opportunities. And so we've got that kind of broad mix of skills that hopefully will influence each other.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will be an exciting and collaborative season, and we'll all have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, some of these companies, they'll probably find it very different, particularly in the summer season. I know I've spoken to a few actors who've worked there, and they come back time after time. It's great having a big block of work together, I suppose, because it's such a long season. But it's quite unusual, isn't it, to have that kind of rep season approach, other than the National Theatre or the RSC.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool Everyman and Playhouse have, they've re-established their rep. And I think it's something that we should be immensely proud of and continue. And we're kind of flexing the model next year. But it's really important because it's a great experience for people to be able to come and do a whole range of, do at least a couple of shows that they wouldn't necessarily get the chance to do, and do it for quite a significant period of time, and also kind of for a very diverse range of audiences. that you don't get if you're in just one city, and also be able to kind of keep refining and finding the new in the show. Because often, with regional producing theatres, we can only, traditionally, if we do sequential runs, you can only sustain things for 3 or 4 weeks at the most, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
So you've kind of just got into your stride, and then the show's over.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to have that longer run here.
Yeah. Last summer season, I managed to do, in one trip, 5 out of the 6 in the summer season. That's the most I've done. But if you're really keen on theatre, you can do that, can't you?
Yeah, you can really do that, and it's a great opportunity to come and see all of the work in a week.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great thing to be able to do.
How are you finding Keswick? Is it a bit too quiet for you after like the Wales Millennium Centre or Shakespeare's Globe or places like that?
No, it's lovely. Looking at the office now, it's absolutely blissful. Even on a slightly grey day like today, it's just lovely because you get just a massive mix of people because, it's not just us that people come to Keswick for. There's the scenery and obviously the water, so we get a real diverse range of people coming through Keswick. So it's rather joyful. Yeah, I don't really miss the Globe or WMC, even though there are some similarities that we're kind of iconic buildings, all by some water, sometimes with extreme weather.
Yes.
No, it's kind of it's lovely. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and are you living locally as well? How are you finding the?
We live in Kirby Stephen, which is about a 45-minute drive away.
Yeah,
and we moved up there. We've got 2 small children, so we moved up to be near grandparents. So it was amazing that the 2 arts organisations I came to meet as soon as we moved up were the Brewery Arts Centre in Kendal, and I came to see Patric here at Theatre by the Lake. I'm a trustee of one, the brewery, and I got a job at the other, so I couldn't be luckier.
No.
I keep pinching myself.
Yeah, they're 2 quite different organisations, though, aren't they? The Brewery Arts Centre does more sort of small-scale touring, isn't it? Yeah,
and it's more multi-art form than we are.
Yeah.
But we're very supportive of each other, which is great.
Yeah. So how is this going to be different from the work you've done in the past?
This role?
Yeah.
I think it's because I've not been an artistic director of a solely producing theatre before. So that's the difference. And, having that producer-led organisation is something that, I've not worked in before. I've worked with, but not with ETT before. But so that's going to be the main difference. Is I'm the person that comes up with the crazy artistic ideas rather than deliver somebody else's crazy artistic ideas. So that's the main difference. That it's kind of my bonkers ideas that we will be delivering.
Yeah, that somebody else has got to deliver.
Yeah, yes.
So have you got plans for developing? The building itself has developed quite a bit over the past few years, hasn't it, with the new cafe?
Yeah, we've got the beautiful new cafe.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we in a few years' time, the building will be 20 years old, so we're very mindful the fact that there will be, at some point, a capital need to refurbish, reinvest in the building, so that's very much in our minds. But yes, we have just built a fantastic new cafe, so that's our... again, as I said before, it's about being sustainable. It's about enabling us to kind of diversify income streams. So that will kind of be a massive resource for us. And there isn't anywhere else like it in Keswick. You can't get those views anywhere else. So it's definitely a destination. Yeah,
you can sit having your coffee and you can look over the lake, can't you? Right across the other side.
And you can have a great lunch or a scrumptious dinner. So it's a great place to come and stop off, whether you're at the theatre or whether you're going for a walk around Derwent Water.
That was Conrad Lynch, Artistic Director and Chief Executive of Theatre by the Lake in Keswick, Cumbria. For more information about Theatre by the Lake, see www.theatrebythelake.com. You've been listening to a podcast from British Theatre Guide. For more information, please visit britishtheatreguide.info.